Joining us now, Fox News strategic analyst, Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, joining us live from Washington. Colonel, thanks a lot for coming on this morning. This is such a brazen act. It's hard, I think, for the American mind to take it all in that President Putin might have just assassinated one of his critics right in the middle of Moscow. What does this mean? How did this happen?
Well, first of all, the bottom line is that this could not have happened if Vladimir Putin had not personally ordered the assassination of Boris Nemtsov. The Kremlin-controlled media are floating ideas, well, maybe his Anna Dritskaya, his 23-year-old girlfriend, set him up for the mob, or maybe it was Islamist terrorists, or maybe the liberal opposition sacrificed one of their own to strengthen their cause. I mean, that is all nonsense. And even the mobsters in Moscow, who are ruthless, they know the limits. They absolutely know it. This happened because Putin wanted it to happen. And, you know, Tucker, it is very, very important. This event is critical because it marks a transition in Russia. Now, Russian journalists have been murdered before, other dissidents, but never someone who was previously a deputy prime minister. This is big, and it marks a transition from Vladimir Putin emulating Peter the Great, his professed hero, to the methods of Joseph Stalin.
Okay.
And let me just play a quick point, if I may. The prototype for this, way back in 1934, Stalin ordered the murder of a rising rival, Sergei Kirov, the equivalent of Nemtsov.
Yes.
And then he turned it around and blamed it on the opposition who had backed Kirov. And that started the Great Purges of the 1930s. So what can we expect in Russia right now? Purges are coming. Maybe not at the Stalin level, but purges to the opposition of oligarchs he doesn't like. It's going to be a very, very dark period for the Russians.
Yes, and of course Stalin never admitted that he was behind the Kirov plot, but we now know that he was. So clearly Putin is trying to move from being an authoritarian leader, which he is, to a totalitarian leader, which he clearly wants to be. Why is that bad for the United States, specifically?
Well, it's bad for the United States for very practical reasons. One, he still has a huge nuclear arsenal. Two, he has repeatedly invaded foreign countries, including an incontestably European country, Ukraine. And the West has done nothing meaningful to stop him. He is now threatening the Baltics. You know, if we interfere in Ukraine, he's going to go after Lithuania, he's going to go after Estonia. He is out of control now. And at some point, you got to stop the Hitlers, and the longer you wait, the higher the bill. And we will not even give defensive arms to Ukraine. It is the Russian people's tragedy, not just ours, but the Russian people's tragedy that the United States is led by such a weakling and such a coward today.
Yes, and kind of amazing the impotence of Western Europe, I would say. Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters, thanks a lot for your clarity.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.